without further ado, welcome. My name is Writer Maven. I am the host of the Wrestling Receipts podcast. I cover all things Judgment Day, Dom, Liv, Raquel, Ben, JD, Carlito. No, not Carlito anymore, but Roxanne. Um, and my girl Naomi. Um, this Raw had a lot of storyline development regarding like Judgment Day and how it looks like everything is going to flow into SummerSlam. But I'm telling y'all right now, I am really tired of Michael Cole's ass because his commentary is really messing up the storyline because he's presenting both Finn and Dom as these heels where it's doing none of them no favors. Either we need to give Finn the sympathy or Dom the sympathy. I'm going to get into this why this is a problem later, but Cole is just really getting on my nerves. He was really getting on my nerves, period, regarding Dom because he just lays into Dom and then he lays into Finn, and then Corey is acting, has to keep up with him, and it looks like he's talking out of both sides of his mouth just because he has to keep countering what Michael Cole says. So the whole commentary regarding Judgment Day is a mess. This is where we would need commentary to give us a clear line of what's happening. Like commentary complemented what Liv and Dom were doing last year. Here it's just like Cole is just spitting out whatever he wants to because he's got this hard on to hate on Dom, and it's just ruining everything. And like I keep saying, you can't keep doing that because you're putting Finn in a position where he won't be able to get booed or cheered. So, yeah, I'm tired of Michael Cole's ass, and I'm gonna get into why he is not helping matters, and how I groaned when Rhea came out. But the best parts, as always, regarding this Raw was Dom. Dom was in 3 segments. And like I keep saying, when you have Judgment Day or at least Dom or at least Liv kind of scattered throughout Raw, it makes for a better Raw. And this Raw was no exception. But we really had some really good matches and some storyline development along the way with some other people. But without further ado, let's go on and get into this review. But I have to start with adrenaline in my soul, something Mysterio. If you know what I'm talking about, you know, and I'm going to discuss what that means later as well. So let's start with pre-Raw, shall we? Dominik has new merch. It is this really cool purple skeleton. So it looks like they're defaulting back to the purple scheme. So it wasn't like a one-off. I thought they were just going to go like white and black with Dom and Liv, and then everybody else is going to be back to black and purple. But we have a purple skeleton on Dom's new merch, and on the front is the skeleton, and on the back it lists his accomplishments, and this lists all his accomplishments like throughout his career, like winning the North American Championship, winning the tag team titles, and then he has like as an accomplishment, Liv is one of his accomplishments. So he has like it lists all of his accomplishments, and that came out today. I have already ordered it, and you can get that on the WWE shop. That new shirt, and he was wearing it tonight. So if you wanted to see what it looked like, he was wearing it tonight. Liv being on the shirt is a nice addition because right now it really is showing Dom and Liv longevity. It's kind of like how they have the Dom and Liv new shirt that came out, which I'm coincidentally wearing right now. So yeah, things aren't going to be breaking up with them. They're going to go off on their own. Hopefully sooner rather than later because I am exhausted at this point. Like I told y'all yesterday when y'all tuned in for my Evolution little gaming session, I was just exhausted with Judgment Day stuff. Like I'm like at the point of doneness. I'm at the point where I'm looking at Dom and AJ and their shenanigans, and I'm finding it way more interesting than the Judgment Day stuff. Like the Judgment Day stuff can just wrap up in like a week and be done with it, and I wouldn't mourn over the loss of it. It's at that point with me right now. But to get back to Dom's shirt, it's out. It's really cool. Go order it if you can. Support our boy. And like I said, it shows a lot of his accomplishments, and it's just probably going to even be more to come. In that same vein, there was a playlist that the WWE put out on their like YouTube channel regarding Dom's 20 years. Pretty much hyping him as the 20-year vet because he is. He pretty much made an official debut in the WWE in 2005. That was for the Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio custody battle, which makes him a 20-year vet. Like, no lie, he's a 20-year vet with that storyline because that was an actual WWE storyline. So he is. So when he says he's a 20-year vet, he really is a 20-year vet. He just started way earlier than other people would. So, in order to celebrate all of Dom's 20 years, there's a nice playlist, and I think they'll be playing that all week because it seems like that's like an ongoing live for Dom. Um, so you have the playlist celebrating Dom's 20 years. That's probably going to take everybody. That's probably going to take like all the way to SummerSlam because this is kind of like his anniversary. Like going into SummerSlam is like his like pay per view. I think they're gonna make SummerSlam like Dom's pay per view where something goes down. So because you had the custody battle and then like Liv, Dom, and Rhea last year. So the summertime is Dom's time. So we'll probably see more stuff in the weeks to come in the lead into the SummerSlam regarding Dom and his 20-year anniversary. So let's get into Raw, shall we? Clubhouse. Finn is holding all the gold like Krusty the Krab, and he has Dom's title, of course, as the top one that he was looking at before Dom comes in and takes his title back. Dom is worried about AJ lurking about. Finn says Dom should be good with his doctor's note, and then Finn suggests that Dom should go with Roxanne and Raquel for their match for protection, quote unquote. Dom is hesitant about it. He didn't really want to go until Finn says do it for Liv. And then that when Dom and the champs leave, Finn is grinning like an idiot. Yeah, this was all pretty much a setup just to show like Scrap Daddy Adam Pearce was that Dom is medically able to compete, and we'll see that later on. But I still think they make Finn way too obvious. Because if they play it right now, where Dom is caught off guard, it makes Dom look really, really dumb. And I'm really hoping they're not going that way. There's always the chance they can go that way. I would not like it. I mean, if I have to exit the storyline and he has to play, be dumb, okay. But I really hope they're not doing that because if we want the Bonnie and Clyde, we need Dom smart. You can't just have Liv smart and Dom dumb. That's not Bonnie and Clyde. But just getting back to some other things that I noticed with the Clubhouse scene. If you looked at the screen with the PlayStation, you saw Raquel and Liv glitch into Raquel and Roxanne. The skeleton is back with a cloak. When Finn was grinning like an idiot, Liv was pretty much looking at Finn like from the back, so she's pretty much observing him still. It's like pretty much a signifier that Liv is still looking at Finn and is observant of what's going on. Like I said, I still think Dom is aware of Finn's manipulation. I'm thinking he does just enough just so Finn thinks that his manipulation is working. Because if he wasn't aware of Finn's manipulation, he probably would have gone along with it. Like 2 years ago, Dom, I could have seen like just readily agree to go along with what Finn wanted to do regarding being out there with Raquel and Roxanne. But he put up a little bit of a fight about it. So I'm really thinking that Dom is just doing enough to keep Finn pretty much happy and satisfied until whatever this thing blows up. I don't know. It's at the point, like I said, it's at the point where things just really need to start blowing up. But it is what it is. And then notice that Dom only went along with it because it's like do it for Liv. And if any observation of Dom regarding his women, whether Rhea or Liv, you know that he would have to do it for Liv. Like that's just kind of one of those things that kind of compels him to do it, because if he didn't want to do it for Liv, then he looks odd and out of place. You see what I mean? So if he didn't want to do it and he didn't want to do it for Liv when she was brought up, then that gives more suspicion on Dom. You see? So I'm just gonna keep it playing like that until I'm proven otherwise. So we got Raquel and Roxanne versus the Kabuki Warriors. Now, during that entrance, they have really need to change that Judgment Day thing. It is killing their heat. And when you combine this with Cole, which I'll get into, it's just killing the heat. I mean, if you're gonna keep them heels and you want to keep them heels because if they attack Dom and Liv or whatever, you need to have them get booed. Like, there's no point in a turn on Dom if Dom is the only one getting some heel heat out there, like he was tonight. So they really got to change that theme. Either go out with like Raquel's theme, like they did like yesterday when they won. They played Raquel's theme, which is a lot better and it's a lot more energetic. Go out with Dom's theme. Even go out with Finn's like heel theme. I think even JD's theme is a lot better. Just don't play that Judgment Day theme song. Um, Also, notice that Dom is really not paying that much attention to Raquel. Like, he is making it a point not to really, not Raquel, Roxanne. He's really making it a point not to really acknowledge her, like, in any kind of way or anything like that. I find that really, it's kind of sneaky, and it's really pointed that he's like nah, he ain't messed with that. So he's drawn a hard line when it comes to Roxanne. Um, and then we get into the match. We got to see Raquel show her strength. I love this for her. You know me, I was really hoping that she would be able to look dominant, and when she does look dominant, she looks great, and this is what she should be doing. She Kevin Nash said that she should be wrestling to her size, and she's pretty much taken it to heart these past two matches at Evolution and tonight on Raw. So she's been really going, like, she's doing the power moves, tossing people, chucking people, like she's been doing the most, and I love it. Now I gotta get to Cole because this motherfucker. First, he's all saying how Judgment Day is better without Liv, so he's insinuating that Liv is. See, this is where I'm talking about with commentary, because I'm gonna go about how he's just hopping all over the place. First, he's insinuating that Judgment Day is better without Liv, where Corey has to counter him as the heel commentator. And that can easily disprove it because, yeah, even though they have the tag team belts, they already had the women's belt and they already had Dom's belt. The only belt that came in after that was Finn, and this was after so many losses with Finn. So, you can't really even say, like, well, they're doing better. They only got one belt back, and that's the men's tag. He was saying that, and then he's all over here saying, how many people? What was it? How many people has Dom cheated with, like the Corey? And I'm like, one, and you can't even say that one, namely Rhea, was actually he was cheating on, because Rhea wouldn't even call him her boyfriend until after the fact. And then she was saying that she didn't belong to anybody. So how are you going to say that he cheated? You see what I mean? They're really trying to present like Dom is like really still kind of looking after like Roxanne or something like that. Because he was like, "Have you talked to Liv? Have you talked to Liv?" Like when Dom was at ringside, and I'm like, "Okay, look, this is why we always have to deal with, as Dom fans, people always wanted to put Dom with somebody, because you got Michael Cole's ass talking about, pretty much acting like Dom is just sleeping around and got eyes for everyone, but that's not how his character right now is being presented. So you got Cole saying one thing, which goes counter to what's presented on TV. And that's what's causing a lot of confusion, and that's why a lot of this Judgment Day mess is a mess, because of Cole. If they presented everything like Clubhouse Scenes and Dom Liv interactions, Dom Finn interactions, and then you have Cole adding to it with the commentary to make things a little bit more clear, it probably would have gone a lot better, and we wouldn't be as fatigued. But no, we gotta have Dom, not Dom. We gotta got Cole out there having this hard on to diss Dom all the time, where it's just like he just keeps attacking, he keeps attacking, and Corey's out there trying to mitigate it. And now it makes Corey look like an idiot because he has to stick up for Dom, and then when Cole starts talking about Finn, Corey has to stick up for Finn. So he's flip flopping. Like that's what's been really annoying me with Cole. And then compare Cole here for this match compared to like how he was talking about Braun Breaker and like LA Knight or Jey Uso. You see how the distinction is, like how he was talking about Braun Breaker as a heel, and then when he was talking about LA Knight and Jey Uso, they're talking about faces. It's a clear split here. But when you get to Judgment Day stuff, Cole is pretty much talking out his ass regarding Dom and Finn, and this does not help Finn. And I'll get into that why in a little bit too. Um, so where was that? Where was that on? Oh, and then he was saying like, and then after he's like running down Dom, he's going into Finn and he's saying like, "Oh, is Finn manipulating Judgment Day?" And I'm like, okay, what is it, Cole? Is it Dom that has been big headed and not taking care of the Judgment Day and, sneaking around, getting away with not being able to fight AJ Styles? Is it that, or are we flipping it around and then saying that Finn is manipulating Judgment Day? If Finn is manipulating Judgment Day, that should put Dom in a sympathetic light. But it's not, because Cole is running down Dom. So we pretty much have two heel presentations here. But the two heel presentations are not helping the storyline. You see what I mean? I mean, you could do a split of like factions where they're imploding and fighting each other, but usually when that happens, somebody usually emerges face-ish. Like, look at what happened with the patriarchy um, at All In. If anybody remembers, if anybody was watching that, we had Christian Cage, a heel, get turned on by Nick Wayne and his mother and all that, the patriarchy. They turned on Christian Cage. Now, there were signs for this, but when Christian got attacked, it got presented sympathetically. And especially when you had Edge, who had to get all his shit in before he went down to make the save on Christian, but that's another thing. But Christian was presented as being sympathetic, as being worthy of your sympathy for being turned on. Yeah, he's been an ass. Yeah, he's been talking about people's dead fathers. Yeah, he does, he's been doing a whole bunch of heinous shit. But in that moment, when he got turned on, by his son that, we saw that he pretty much accepted Nick Wayne as his son, wrestling wise at least. And then so when he got turned on by Nick Wayne, we felt the sympathy. And then when he's about to get Concerto, again, we're feeling the sympathy. Here, now compare that to where we're doing with Finn and Dom. Where is the sympathy for Dom if he's going to get turned on? I mean, usually when this light, if a heel gets turned on, um, you can have a heel that deserves it, but even when a heel deserves it, like a kind of like a Drew McIntyre or something like that, they're allowed to keep, if you're presenting it like a heel deserves it and they're going to keep going heel, you usually have that other person that did it to the heel be face. Like if Finn turns on Dom and Dom is staying the heel, then Finn should have the justification on turning on Dom. You see what I mean? And that makes him face. But they're not doing that. They're making Finn like this really granny, evil type character. And if you're presenting Finn that way, then you would think that would make Dom face. But he's not. Dom is not being presented as face. He's still trying to get out of fighting AJ Styles with his doctor's note. He's still getting, Dom, you suck chants at ringside. So whatever the storyline is doing, they're canceling each other out. You got Dom, and yeah, you can do a split where everybody, like I said, you can have a split where somebody stays heel, but that's rare and in between. And usually when somebody is staying heel, like with solo stuff or whatever like that, you have the flip of the face, like I was saying, like with Christian, like with Bloodline. We're not getting that. And this will hurt Finn. Because, like I said, when we had the opening, when we had Roxanne and Raquel come out, the crowd is dead. The crowd perks up because Dom was out there. And then they were cheering the Kabuki Warriors with their faces. So they're a little bit easier to cheer for. So Kabuki Warriors faces, you're going to get cheered. But with Raquel and Roxanne, when you really need the heel heat, they're dead. This is what's going to happen with Finn. Because nobody's going to be really paying attention to Finn. He can do all this heinous stuff to Dom, and it might work for like maybe a week or two, but it's not going to be sustainable. So this is hurting Finn. That's why I was saying it's just probably just easier to turn Finn face. Turn him face. Just make Dom be an asshole. And I'm pretty sure that Dom could be an asshole. Just say like, hey, I'm the Intercontinental Champion. I'm doing this. Deuces, deuces, whatever, and then just bounce or do whatever he wants. And then you could present it like Finn trying to keep Judgment Day together, like after they started losing stuff. You know what I mean? Something like that. But no, we got Finn grinning like an idiot and being like this really evil, it's like a caricature almost. Like where it's funny, but but it's still going counter to what else is going on with the storyline. You see what I mean? So like I said, it's just hurting Finn's character to keep having Michael Cole and his hard on against Dom, and still they're not making a clear distinction on who should be rooted for. I mean, yeah, people will gravitate to cheering possibly Liv and Dom, but you're still presenting Dom as the heel. Like, you're not even giving Dom a little bit of sympathy where his girlfriend is out on injury. Because you see how Cole was still attacking Dom about Liv? Now, Dom didn't make it clear that he's talking to Liv and she's rehabbing. So they're making it clear that Dom is still in communication with Liv. So it's not like it's out. Like, it's not like he's cut off of communication like what happened with Rhea. And it's not even a case of where Dom is just saying yeah, and yeah, and then Damian Priest didn't check on it like an idiot last year. But Dom is pretty much saying, hey, she's rehabbing, and it's matching what Raquel says. Hey, she's rehabbing. So people are still talking with Liv. So yeah, I mean, that's why I'm saying they just need to really figure out what they're doing with Cole. Cole needs to pick a lane. And that's what I said on the X. Like, Cole, pick a lane. Either you were going to give Dom the sympathy or Finn the sympathy. And you can still keep Dom as a heel, but you need to start either presenting him in a sympathetic light or something else. Or Finn in a sympathetic light or something else. I don't know. But it's just aggravating. And I had that long diatribe. Corey had the amazing line of saying, just because you're on a diet doesn't mean you can't look at the menu. And I'm like, sir. So it's kind of playing up like Dom has a robot eye, but again, that goes counter to what we've seen with Dom. So that always annoys me. Like, I mean, if you're going to be presenting Dom as some kind of Latin lover or Lothario or something like that, you need to start doing it. Now, I wouldn't believe it now because of how he's presented now, because I would be calling bullshit on it. But they needed to start putting in that work a long time ago. Dom distracts the Warriors so Raquel and Roxanne could get the win. Dom got the backhand by Oscar on that, so that pretty much shows like Dom is not really injured and stuff like that. So I said him like just to cover all this, wrap this up. Dom was like pretty much the only one getting any kind of heel heat from the crowd. I love Raquel doing her power moves, like I said, and then like Cole has given no indication that he'll be face, as he's not getting any kind of sympathy in relation to Dom. So, and then later on, we get the third segment with Dom featuring Scrap Daddy. Now, I have to laugh at this whole Scrap Daddy segment because first of all, we start off with New Day coming up to Scrap Daddy, and they're still in black and mourning, and then they have Grayson Waller here, and then they offer Scrap Daddy some wigs, toupees, whatever, and they want their rematch. And then Scrap Daddy says, "Okay, we're gonna make a decision about the tag team titles next week." And then he like hits like the little silver tray that Grayson Waller presented the wigs on, and they just went flying. I'm just dying because I'm like, he just give like they just had like this whole collection of wigs to give to Scrap Daddy, and then he just hits it, and then they just all went flying, and then the New Day are all aghast at what Scrap Daddy did. And then later on, Scrap Daddy runs into the Judgment Day. Says Dom is looking spry out there. Now this is where Dom lands the quote that I mentioned earlier, and Dom says it must have been the adrenaline in my soul. And I'm like, sir, yeah, okay, we're quoting Cody Rhodes here, but yeah, it's the adrenaline. It was the adrenaline in my soul. And then Scrap Daddy says he's going to get medically evaluated next week. And then and then he's, because Dom is still trying to present his doctor's note. And Scrap Daddy takes a look at it. He's like, okay, if you're, they find that they're wrong and you're clear, you don't have the doctor note and all that, I'm going to sign that contract so you can have the match against AJ Styles for the title at SummerSlam. And of course, Dom is just all butthurt about it. The rest of the day, Judgment Day walk off, kind of leaving Finn behind. I mean, not Finn, Dom behind. When we notice AJ over there on the kind of like on his knees, like around, like in between, like all these like production boxes and stuff like that. He's on his knees, hands clasped, and this man is praying. I'm dying. Like he's like praying, and then Dom's just looking at him. It's obvious that AJ's like praying for like a miracle so Dom get healed so he can have his match. And then this prompts Dom to start praying. And then and now he walks off to catch up with Judgment Day. And then here comes AJ again. We focus back on AJ. And he's praying. He's still praying. And I'm just dying. And I said, like, the Dom and AJ shenanigans removed from the Judgment Day bullshit is just so much more entertaining. Like, I want more weeks of this, Like, give me weeks of Dom and AJ shenanigans. You know, I know you got Dom and like pretty much involved in 3 or 4 storylines, but give me more Dom and AJ shenanigans because that was hilarious. Just AJ over there praying, and Dom is just like, still has his notes. I have a note. I still have my doctor's note, and praying about it. That's just hilarious. Um, like I said, like earlier, this segment pretty much showed that Finn set up Dom to get caught. Dom will probably be cleared next week somehow. And then we had Scrap Daddy also saying that a decision regarding the tag titles will be made next week as well. I'm really hoping they find somebody interesting for these tag team titles because I really don't want to see New Day back in there again. I really don't want to see War Raiders as well because they're boring as fuck. We needed another like face team. Like bring me Andrade and Ray Phoenix. Like bring over Andrade and Ray Phoenix, have him around his brother Penta, and then we could have a nice, exciting face team for Judgment Day to face. Like we need somebody exciting because what we have on Raw between the War Raiders, American Name, New Day. I guess we have the LWO right there. Like we need more face tag teams. Like give me something else. Give me OTM. Like I really in a parallel universe, I wanted OTM to be like Dom's little lackeys there because they have that whole Cholo vibe. Like in an alternate universe, OTA would be the arms lackeys. Like bring me that tag team. They're not doing anything in the NXT. So yeah, that's all of Judgment Day segments. Now I gotta get to my girl Naomi and this bullshit that I have to talk about with Rhea again. So people are just gonna have to deal with me talking crap about Rhea because I have had it with her. Um, so we had Naomi kick off the show. She's looking great. I like the whole outfit. She had like the um, newspaper outfit print with caution, and she has the title looking great. I loved it. You know, I'm really, really, really happy for you, Naomi. You know, she's my ride or die, and I'm just loving that she's being presented as a real deal and a major player and the major heel on Raw now, with Liv not being there. And she's getting her due, and I just love that for her. And then she comes out, she puts everybody on notice. She calls the women in the back heifers. I'm like, woman, like she just like she was laying into the crowd. You say, "Nuh-uh, you know, y'all didn't believe in me. I did this, you know, because you know the crowd always gonna say you deserve it." Um, but you know, she was calling out the crowd, calling out the women in the back, calling them heifers. She was just great. She was great on the mic in her little promo. And then it's then she's trying to end her little promo with proceed with caution. And as soon as she gets to the caution part, what do we get? This is my brutality. I was just like, I groaned so loud. People I was talking with about Raw were like, oh my, people like were just going like, oh my god, here she comes. Now she gets the pop, yeah. But like I said, she is curated for the pop for that interruption. But as soon as that music hit, I was just like, of course. And then here she comes sauntering on down to the ring, and then she comes in to confront Naomi and saying that Naomi's on the list. Like, I was trying to accomplish getting the title and beat Io and yada yada yada. I'm like, okay, oh now you want to get this, you want to get this done, but whatever. And then this brings out Io, and then she says Rhea needs to get to the back of the line because she wants her rematch. And then, Naomi's like, nah, both of y'all need to get to the, back of the line, which is true. And then here comes Scrap Daddy coming out. He was like welcoming Naomi to Monday Night Raw. And then he says that he made the decision that SummerSlam needs something pretty much epic. And then he's going to make a triple threat match before it. Not Naomi, Rhea, and Io at SummerSlam for the Women's World title. Now, my problem. Why is it Rhea again in the damn title match? Yeah, she didn't get pinned, but just because she didn't get pinned doesn't mean she gets a rematch all the damn time. Somebody put out here, I have an infographic saying that pretty much all the women's title matches for this damn belt has involved Rhea in some way except 2 times. Two. Over the history of this belt, which is 2 years. Every single one has involved Rhea. Yeah, she's defended the title. But like when the belt wasn't even on Rhea, she was involved with it. It gets to be a point. It's aggravating. This is why people are aggravated with her. Nobody's tearing down her talent. I do think she did lose a step or two with her wrestling because didn't have her wrestling, but nobody denies her talent. She does have talent. But when you keep putting her in this in these damn title matches, you're just gonna get fatigued. This is what happened to Charlotte. But Charlotte doesn't have the Gooner squad after her. If Charlotte Flair had the Gooners, then she probably would have been able to have all those title matches and nobody would be complaining. You see what I mean? So if Charlotte had Gooners, she probably would be in the same position that Rhea is right now. But she's not. Because, no, it's just because of how she was presented and all that. But Rhea, since she's Gooner material, she could just keep going and getting in matches, and people are saying, well, you're just haters. I'm like, nobody's just hating on her. It's just that we're fatigued of her character, and we're fatigued of her being in the title matches. Like, her character can't exist without a title, and that's not good. And then why is she still? And like I said, why did she keep getting those title matches? I mean, just because, like I said, just because you're not getting pinned doesn't mean that you should still stay in the title hunt. Like, get to the back of the line. Why can't she get to the back of the line? Everybody else had to get to the back of the line. And then they're giving Io her rematch pretty much immediately. So what happened with Liv? You see what I mean? This is what I wanted to bring this up on the X, but I had got distracted by the Judgment Day stuff. So Io could get the automatic rematch. Rhea could get an automatic rematch, but with Liv, she couldn't get her rematch. And then by the time she tried to get her rematch, she got injured. And I know people are going to say, well, they said that was going to be the final match. I don't care if it was the final match. She should have been gotten at least one rematch. If she had just gotten her one rematch, nobody would be bitching about Liv not getting her rematch. But they didn't do that. And then so when everybody else is getting their rematches, like Nia and Rhea and now Io, people are going to bust a fit. And it's perfectly valid to bust a fit about this because they keep doing this. They keep shoehorning Rhea into this shit. You can't take a breath. Like whenever somebody else has a title, you gotta have Rhea right there in the rearview mirror, stalking your ass to keep getting the title. I'm just done. I'm done with her as a character. And then like kind of like last night, how she was starting to finally get booed a little bit. Like, I guess they were saying, well, she's showing some character development by getting frustrated. Yeah, she gets frustrated, but then she still is busting out and still getting rewarded by the same behavior. Like, you could be frustrated, but at some point, that frustration should cost you something. Like, let her frustration cost her title match, and then she gets sent to the back of the line. It's just aggravating. Oh yeah, and Ava, like, and then like they said, Liv had to earn her title match. So like Rhea got hers granted, but Liv, she had to earn her title rematch by fighting Kyrie. Like, make it make sense. But like I said, I'm really glad that Naomi said both of them need to get to the back of the line because they really do. But yeah, that's my Rhea rant for the night. I'm just done with her. I really am. Like she should not be keep getting these rematches. She needs a character rework, and then she needs to go on a ton of side quests. Like, why can't she pull a Cody Rhodes while she's doing some side quests? Help build up some of these other women in the division. Is no excuse for her to be a same character where we're getting some character growth with Lyra, we're getting character growth with Bayley, Becky, um, we're getting character growth with Ivy Nile a little bit. Her stuff has been on like the commercial breaks. So if you're not international, you're not seeing it. But at least she's been talking a lot more as pretty much the head of American Made while Chad Gable's away. Like, we're getting those little bits and pieces with Ivy now, and we're getting growth. But now Rhea's just stagnant. So I don't know. Yeah, I can't with Rhea right now. But to wrap everything up, I think that Dom is doing just enough so he can keep thinking that he's, winning whatever he's being ahead of the game and being manipulative, and it's working. Liv will return and help Dom, which will enrage Finn, and then Finn will be caught off guard because he thinks Liv will be out longer. Liv can show up between now and SummerSlam. Right now, it's looking like SummerSlam since she didn't return because the OTC one, I'm guessing, returned Roman Reigns, but she might show up. Like I said, she might show up between now and SummerSlam. We got 2 more weeks. Let's see. Dom and AJ are a lot more interested in the Judgment Day. Like I said, I would rather we have weeks and weeks of Dom and AJ shenanigans compared to the Judgment Day stuff. And then Cole really needs to pick a lane. Cole needs to really pick a lane with his commentary. Like, if we're going to set up Finn as to be a dastardly heel, then you need to start giving Dom some sympathy. Or if you're going to keep Dom a heel, you need to start playing up some sympathy for Finn. Like, pick a lane, Cole. And then my last observation is that Judgment Day is going to crash hard without Liv and Dom. Because that's just what it's looking like right now. I don't even see the point of Judgment Day being collective as a group. without Liv and Dom. It's just going to crash. Nobody's gonna be interested in it. People are just gonna be more interested in Liv and Dom. They might be interested in Finn, but other than that, it's not going to be the same, and it's just gonna drag everybody down. But that's Raw.